We lost her. We lost her not because she hadn't money to take care of herself. We lost her not because she was suffering from a terminal disease. We lost her not because she had an accident. We lost her not because of anything that can be considered, a factor that could make someone just lose her life. We lost her because someone was so careless and carefree. And here I am today, speaking in the past. She's gone. And that's the most painful aspect of this death. Hi guys, welcome to Life with Quinette. If this is your first time of seeing me, I want to say thank you for coming. Please do subscribe. Tap the bell beside the subscription button so you'll be the first to be notified once I upload a new video. And if you're already a subscriber, I want to say thank you. I do not take it for granted. Please remember to thumbs up and probably comment in the comment section. Let's have a discussion of what I'm about to talk or discuss about. My husband's family, there are actually about 6 of them, but the first child was a woman. She's a girl, and so she got married quite early to this pastor. They've been living. My husband is second to the last two or thereabout. I don't know whether I'm making sense. So, and that this lady is actually not old. The person I'm going to be discussing about, she wasn't an old woman per se. I don't know when they got married. I just came into the family about 5-6 years ago, 5 years ago thereabout. But from what my husband told me, their aunt was the first, their sister was the first to get married, and since that time they hadn't a child. Okay, so I know that when I got married newly, I think I just had my baby and we traveled home. And I remembered my mother-in-law, telling my husband, don't go for other options, really. But when I was, discussing with my mother-in-law, I remember her telling me that, the thing is tiring her. She's getting tired of the whole situation, and that each time she wants to discuss with the daughter will say, no, my husband did not say, oh, I will discuss it with my husband, oh, I will do. And listen, I'm not saying that is bad for you to have such discussions, because it's sensitive, right? So you must have discussions. But the thing is that she actually left the whole thing for the man to decide. I'm not sure. I'm not there. I'm not sure she brought the discussion to the table, like, let's go for this, let's do this. See, my younger ones that were still kids when I left for the marriage are now grown adults and are even married. There's some that already have already have kids. So but that was my mother-in-law's story. That was what she told me, and she was so disturbed about it, how that the daughter cannot even say, this is what I want. Everything my husband, everything pastor, daddy, call the husband in church daddy, I think so, but that's by the way, and they've been living that way. And I remembered when I came in, I was asking my husband, why is that? He was telling me that his sister did not go to school. What I mean by not go to school was that she didn't go to a higher institution. And this lady is a very hardworking woman, and she was into food business, and she had made so much money. I mean, so much money that she thought about they're having their own home, because when they married her, it was a family house. So she wanted that comfort. She wanted them to have a home, have a say. So she started building. In fact, she built I don't know whether it's fed for 4 bedroom, I don't know, but she built a good bungalow in her husband's how family, accommodating every other person. So, but that's by the way, you know, she trained the man. As at the time they got married, the man hadn't gone to a university, and then some of these churches at some point, because he was a pastor, at some point was growing, and there was now need because he became either a pro chancellor or something to a seminary school. So there was need for him to upgrade. Remember, this sister-in-law of mine hadn't gone to school at this point. So this sister-in-law of mine actually willingly trained the husband, and he got his first degree, went for the second degree. This sister-in-law of mine also trained the man, and he got his master's degree. Remember, she hadn't gone to upgrade herself. She was doing everything, making sure that people don't look down the man. They bought a land and started building a church. I know if you know Orthodox churches very well, you know that it is hard for you to convince them to get money so they build a church. So at Enugu in the east, they bought a land, courtesy of this sister-in-law of mine. They bought a land, they started building their church there. And that was just to help promote the husband, make others see that this man should not be looked down upon. He's doing so well, blah blah blah. She did virtually everything for this man, every single thing for this man. In fact, I'm trying to bring myself together so as not to break down, because even though I wasn't there when all these things happened, when she died, I felt like, is this all? This is it. Okay, so in 2020, while everybody was locked up in their various homes, she will always call to ask the brother how we're doing, what's happening, since people are not going out. She was always, checking up. She was doing that motherly role. She was always checking up, asking questions. They were always discussing and all that. And then one day, I think it was my mother-in-law that called my husband, and after that discussion, because I was actually sitting down in the living room, so I knew when they were having a discussion, but I didn't know the content. I wasn't actually listening. So, but I noticed that after the discussion, he became quiet. His bubbly self, disappeared all of a sudden. So I asked him, hope he's okay. What happened? This one that, Mama called. I hope. He just told me my sister is sick. So I said, okay, she's sick. So what about that? Said, yeah, she's sick. And I said, how did you get to know? He said, well, that was why my mom called. That the husband called the mother, the aged mother, to inform her that the daughter was sick. And not just sick, was so sick. So, my husband was actually angry that, why wouldn't this man call me? And other than calling my mom, who could be scared and be thinking, what happened to my daughter? I hope she's still alive. Somebody that's still trying to manage, because she was quite aged. So he didn't even know the extent of the, but when the mother was talking, she said that the in-law said that his wife, who is my sister-in-law, was finding it difficult eating. In fact, has not been eating, and refused to go to the hospital, and he had to go look for some people just to convince her to go to the hospital, and finally took her to the hospital. But that is not even the part of the story. That is not even the cocoa of the story. So my husband was like, okay. He was still angry and was telling the mom, why would this man call you? And after, he paused a bit. I think he started calling the sister's number, and she wasn't picking. So he called the husband to find out the situation of things, since he couldn't get, get okay. I think he called, and then the husband picked the the call, and then was not saying that her name is Clara, bless her soul, and that she can't answer because she has been admitted. I think that was it was at that point that he realized that this thing was, the issue was more serious than what he thought. So he said, hospitalized. What happened? He said she had tonsillitis. Tonsillitis, yes. So when they finished discussing, said they took her to the place and they are going to run a test, and that the next day the test will come out, but that the problem is that the price those people are calling was just too much, and he was just thinking whether it's because they saw that they just brought her, and that's why they are now giving a high distance. So my husband at that point was like, what are you talking about? If those people, because he also said that those people said they don't have the medical apparatus, to take care of her in that hospital. So my husband was like, okay, if they told you that, why not take her to FMC? FMC is a federal medical center in Nigeria, where you at least you can access a better, health care. So he said, okay, why not take her and move her to the FMC, since those people have said they don't have the best apparatus to take. He said no, that those people said no, that they can still try until maybe the next day, then they will now move her to FMC. So I was like, I don't get what you're saying. I expected you as a husband to say, okay, since you have agreed that you don't actually have this thing to take care of her, let me move her immediately, since the situation had gotten to that situation where the situation has gotten bad, like the person is already admitted. It means that the person is actually sick. So the man said okay. So on the next day, which was supposed to be on a Monday, while we were going to work, so I asked him, have you heard from your in-law? He said he was still waiting for the man to call. So after a while, he called back, asked the man, so what is happening? How's she doing today? I hope she's, doing well, because we're not in the same city. Let me put that aside. So I hope she's getting better. And I said no, since they took her to the place, she has not been able to eat. She has not been able to do this. She has not been able to do that. And it was like, so it means the issue is more serious than I presumed. So what are we doing today? Are you moving her today? He said no, that those people said let them keep trying. So at that point, my husband started screaming. Of course, this man is quite older than himself, but when it comes to a life and death thing, you throw away whatever age we are talking about here. So it was now like, please take this woman to the hospital. What is they said the issue is right now is money, that the money these people are calling is just too much. He doesn't have any money, he doesn't have this, he doesn't have the I was like, okay, so how much are we talking about here? He told him, and he said, okay, I'll transfer the money immediately so that they can start treatment. That is to tell you that a day before that day, that night that they called the man, they did not administer any kind of treatment until the next day when his brother called to find out how far they've gone. And then suddenly he was telling him that they've not done anything, that that's at some point, as sometimes when I remember it, I just break down, that she had to stay 24 hours. This man was saying, I don't have money, I don't have money, I don't have money, I don't have money. So my husband sent money immediately and they started the treatment. So the next day was on that Saturday or so. Okay, that happened on a Thursday, Friday, on a Saturday. Former vice chancellor who had been posted to another, who got a job, who went back to his base, and my husband was friendly, had some kind of friendship with him. So he asked that they come to his home country, for the last supper, as someone who had left the institution. So while he said he wouldn't have gone if not that there was no way he would start making excuses to tell them that, see, I have an emergency, because he was supposed to actually travel to that city that day, being Saturday. So he now told me that, okay, what he would do is touch down on this man's home and then take another distance and move straight to Owerri, because that's where they were living at the time. So what am I saying? My husband traveled, went to this former senior colleague that called them for the last supper. He said he couldn't eat, he couldn't drink. When people were gisting, he was just at a place. He was just praying. He was like, Father God, don't allow this my sister to pass on like this. This woman had, she had only served humanity all her life. She had not enjoyed anything. Please, God. And he said while he was doing that, a call came in. And it was the second sister, the immediate younger sister to that other, the one that was already in the hospital. She is also living at Enugu State. So immediately the call came. He said in his mind, maybe she's still traveling on the road. So yes, and that was it. She said, well, I was traveling. I needed to go and see my sister. These stories, they are just too long. I don't understand what they're saying, which was tonsillitis, and then the person is in emergency, blah, blah, blah. He said, okay, so when you get there, please, because I don't want to speak with the husband again. I'm just pissed with him. When you get there, please let me know how she's faring. So he said he practically held his phone in his hand, waiting for the sister's call. So after like 30 minutes or 1 hour there, 2 hours or thereabout, the sister called. And then when immediately he picked it, the sister was crying, shouting. He said, what is it? What is it? He said, Clara has gone. That was how this woman left this world. Somebody looking at me will say, she died. Yes, it is death. She died and died. But the truth is that, listen, while you are working so assiduously, working so hard for your family to become like others, or for people to believe that you guys are also doing very well as a woman, please do improve on yourself. As you're working and making sure that everything is in place, that everyone is happy, please don't fail to improve on yourself and have some sense. Have some sense. Take care of yourself. If you're sick, take yourself to the hospital. Make sure you don't get to that point where you will not even be able to help yourself again. And people can say, oh, we don't have money. There's nothing we can do about it. And you are gone. And you're gone. We'll forget about you. Please don't get there. All right? And that's the story. That was how she left. And in the comment section, I want to hear if you have witnessed this type of thing, if you had heard of a story where a woman worked so hard for the man, and at the point where the man was supposed to help the woman, the man couldn't do anything. Let's talk in the comment section. Let's discuss that, and let's encourage ourselves and give ourselves some brain so that we'll start planning how, yes, every man will not be that way, but you know what? While you're improving on the man, if you must do that, improve on yourself. If she had gone to school, if she had some kind of exposure, I'm not sure what happened to her would have happened. And I want to say thank you so very much for staying till now, watching this video. And I say God bless you. Bye for now.